Recording. All right, this is West Virginia Commonplace. This is the after show. I have Anza Goodbar, and Anza Goodbar, please, once again, so I do not chop up your business, please tell us the name of your business.
It's audientum.
Audientum. That was a hard one for me. Now, Anza, we have just conducted a show, and this little bit that we're doing here, I've been doing these little extra outtakes because this gives the audience a little bit of the raw part of the show. Because I talk about curation. Those shows, we make sure the audio and everything's edited on them. So here we go. Okay, your business. You take care of marketing, advertising. You have a driven way to move people with their business. So
We do.
what without disclosing the business has been the most interesting business you've ever helped? Because some people would say, like, have you helped a sardine company or anything like that? I know that there's laws that you can't directly tell us who it is, but what's the most interesting clients you've had thus far, if you can
Um,
tell us that?
Gosh, most of mine are pretty vanilla. I don't have anybody um too wild and crazy. Um, I think maybe one of my clients, and this is maybe controversial in some circles, is I help cannabis companies get out there and share their products with the world. And there's some people who have not wanted to work with me because I do that. Because on the other side, I've worked with people who um, have dealt with meth labs in their homes. And so they're huge advocates for meth toxin awareness. And they believe that cannabis products are a gateway to meth. And so, it's on one side or the other, but I haven't really had any racy, crazy kind of things.
Okay. Now, if there was a billboard in Colorado Springs, in St. Louis, Missouri, Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, Ohio, because you got to get all three of the C's when you're there. That's just
You got
marketing genius.
right.
New York City, Richmond, Virginia, Tallahassee, Florida, and a random place in Vermont. What would that say about you and your business?
Wow, what would that say?
Because that's true marketing. I named enough places that that's marketing genius. Every little place except for Tallahassee. I could have done a better place in Florida. No offense.
You threw me with in the random place in Vermont. I was like, oh, I think I've been in Jerry's in Vermont. I think to have a billboard in all of those cities would just go to speak to the the culture that we're in today, that people want to be in control of their own destiny, that they don't want to be constrained by the 9 to 5 mentality. Coming out the other side of the pandemic, people realized I can have work-life balance and work from home. And so I think to have um, a billboard in all of those cities would be that people are ready to follow their heart and live their dream life. And they're realizing that they can do that mobily. Um, One of my clients is living a totally nomadic life right now. They went out and they bought this great cruiser trailer and with a semi truck that drives it, and they're traveling the whole country and they're meeting up with friends, they're meeting up with family, they're staying here and there, and they're making a great living while they're doing it. And mind you, they don't have kids, they don't have to worry about school and all of that kind of thing. They're in their 50s, but there's power in choosing, because we all get to choose, right? And I think if I
Yes.
had a billboard in all of those cities, it would be speaking to the power of choice.
Okay, and I like that. Now, before we wrap this up, because like I said, it's a quick little thing we do here just uh to get more out of you. Now, everybody has relaxing moments, and you talked about the game that you play inside the interview. So definitely check out the interview. So we don't want to take away from that. But this is a strong question. This is a very hard question. So we have to put on our thinking caps for this one. So this is that 15 minutes that we're going to use to think. What is your favorite movie? And I'm going to go further once you tell me.
Mhm. The Shadowlands.
The Shadowlands.
I
Whoa.
know, I know. I was like, I'm going to stump him. Um, do you know who C.S. Lewis is?
Yes.
So the
The ones in Future
Shadowlands,
King.
it is the story of C.S. Lewis's life as he ponders his relationship with God. And it also is like the love story where he meets Joy, his wife.
Okay.
And through the course of the story, she has cancer and she dies. And it makes me cry every time I watch it because he really wrestles with God and he wrestles with what he believes and who he is and how pain is a part of life. And, one of the lessons that I walk away with from that movie is as deeply as you want to love and feel joy and happiness, you have to be willing to feel the opposite of the pain and sorrow and loss. And that's simple yet profound because oftentimes, and I have been guilty of this, I want that love, that joy, that ecstasy, but I'm not always willing to let my guard down and take the wall down so I can experience the fullness of it because I have felt the depth of the pain, the sorrow, the loss, and I know I don't want to have that. And that movie reminds me that I have to get out of my way to really get what I truly want in life.
Okay, so you definitely step out your comfort zone. And once again, you answered the question I was going to ask you. You already did that for me, and that's one cool thing that I like about you, Anza. So to wrap this up, I'm going to do this for podcasters because we need this influence and we need to understand this. There's some podcasters that do this as a hobby, and then there's people that want to become business driven outside of their hobby,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's a hard thing to go from a hobby. I'm going to make a new word up: a hobbyist attitude or
Right.
idealism
Right.
to a business mindset.
Right.
What would be your key advice to a hobbyist that has turned that corner and said, "Hey, I got a few fans. I'm getting a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to turn this into a business." What would be the first thing you would tell them if they
Be a
come to you?
sure. I would say be a chicken, not a pig.
Elaborate.
Aha, I love it that you don't know this. So there is an old fable, and it's the story about a chicken and a pig, and they're coming together for breakfast. And so the chicken comes along, and he is all about it because or he is a she, right? Chicken. She provides the eggs. She can pop out eggs left and right. But that pig, he needs to bring the bacon or the sausage, and in order to do that, he needs to be committed enough to give up his life, right? And so the hobbyist is the chicken, right? But the pig is committed. So if you really want to grow your business, you need to be committed and willing to do what it takes to show up consistently day in and day out. Because you know what? The chicken just lays eggs when she feels like it, right? She
Right.
doesn't necessarily do it every day. She just does it when the mood strikes her. You can't build a business being a chicken.
Wow. And I didn't know that. And that's going to be great. That's going to be great for us. So, Anza, once again, I want to thank you for this. This has been really awesome. I'm glad we were able to do this little outtake and get some fun. Your smile, it was bright then, but it got even brighter since we did this little bit here. So, I want to definitely thank you for that.
Good.
And everyone, you can check her out through our podcast. You can check her out online through her website, and I will have amazing show notes and everything else that you need to have to get involved with Anza Goodbar, and so that you can modify your business. And the reason I said modify is this one thing.
Mhm.
Everyone thinks that they have the right business model, but sometimes minor modifications, just like people do to cars and we used to do to whatever we modified, modifications help.
They
And
do.
then and that's it for that. Once again, guys, thank you. This is West Virginia and Commonplace Outtakes.